Well, there is a song that goes something like, "The sun is shining, oh happy day." Yeah, the sun is shining. Kind of a hazy sun, I guess a smoky sun. And let's not talk about the weather today. Let's just get right into step 58, which has a lot of photo etch. In fact, the very first part of step 58 wants me to put together a little bracket here, a little platform, I guess, that has to go on this mast. So I think we may as well get right into that. Oh, last night I did come back to the model table. I didn't do any videoing. All I did was I just painted that one spider leg that I thought I had missed with the number 77. And then I took the NATO black and I went all the way around the plastic ring on both funnels. So they've got a third coat now. So now they look a little bit more like real soot. Anyway, let's get going here and see if we can find our parts. We need photo etch B34. Okay, we actually need two B34s. And when I first looked at this sheet, I did look at these almost right away because they're in the center of the sheet. But I thought, my goodness, are they really that small? And then eventually I was able to spot the number 34. It got painted over when we were, trying to paint the railings. Anyway, it looks like everything we need is on the B sheet. So we need these two. We need this piece right here. It's pretty obvious. At least I think that's the one. Although, why is there a little ring on this? But there doesn't show on here. Yeah, that's it. Let's move this a little bit here. Yeah, B10. That's B10. And then we need a B6, which would probably be like these, only bigger. It'll be on here somewhere. We'll eventually find it. Okay, well, let's set up here and see if we can cut these off without damaging them. They're pretty small. Okay, I can't remember when the last time was that I sharpened my homemade cutter here. But it seems to be going through okay. I'm probably going to get my blockier view here. Oh my goodness, it pinged off, but not very far. There. Okay. Okay, now we need B6. It's a little easier to see. Okay, now for these two, I think the easiest thing for me to do is just turn this whole thing down around 180 degrees. Then I can sort of come at it with my right hand. I was afraid it would ping off on me. Now B10 here, that I was worried that I didn't see this ring on the drawing. Actually, it is clearly shown on another part of the drawing. I think what we do is we probably have to bend that. I'm assuming we bend it because there is sort of a little detente you know, a place that would make it easy to fold or bend. All right, here we go. And if I can get nice and close to the part, I don't need to do any trimming later. Okay, once again I'm going to turn it around 180 degrees to come at this one right here. I'm using my finger here sort of as a steady rest. There. Okay. These two especially. Why did they happen to fall in the tin the wrong way? All right, enough poking at them. These two especially, I'm going to have to get the paint off of there. Now, my thinking is that it might be kind of fun to see if possibly we can solder these little pieces in these two grooves. I know that CA would, you know, CAing them on there, you know, that's probably the fastest way to go. But I have to keep looking up in my monitor to see, make sure I've got it in the right place. But anyway, let's get these cleaned up here. I'll use the ultrasonic cleaner. First of all, I'm going to use Windex to get this paint off, and then I'll use the ultrasonic cleaner, and we'll take a close look at them afterwards. Now, I know that I have talked about this before, but just in case, the way I understand an ultrasonic cleaner works is that the vibration creates, well, I call them little bubbles, but they are actually little voids. And they call it cavitation. And then those voids implode on the side of the part, or close to it. I used to think it was a case where they sort of like popped when they hit it, but I don't know if that's the way it actually works. And what I find is that the vibration causes your small parts, when you have a whole bunch of little pieces like this in the ultrasonic cleaner, they all kind of glump together. And to my way of thinking, it's sort of like trying to electroplate parts, and if you've got them all glumped together, it's just not going to work very good. So you got to hang them separately. And I've thought this several times. Would it be a good idea to take some wire like this, so if you can, that is, suspend your small parts in the ultrasonic cleaner so that they're not touching each other, and that way the little bubbles or voids can implode a lot better on the little part. Now maybe I remember one time I was hearing Nigel talking about ultrasonic, and it seemed to me that from what he said, I thought, you have a good understanding of how this works. I don't think most people do. Now, being as I have never actually seen it under the microscope, I don't know if those little cavitated bubbles implode, because you can't see it. Now maybe somebody has. Anyway, I think I'd better close these up here so that it could be that they'll sort of jump off of the hook. Hey, let's put on the macro lens. Okay. I don't think that'll jump off of there. Well, we'll soon know, won't we? Okay, here we go. This is the first time I've tried this. Now, is the surface tension on that Iwata airbrush cleaner going to cause these things to ride on top? And I don't think so. I think they should go down. Alright, maybe get them down just a little bit more here. I'd like to get them sort of in the midpoint. Alright. Now, because this thing spits, I think I better move Jonathan's cup here. And let's just see what happens. Now, you're not going to be able to see it, but I mean, are they going to stay on those little wires? Well, like I said, you're not going to be able to see it. And I guess if I had have used a fresh solution, it would have been a little bit clearer. And I've had to turn the camera, or rather the sound rate down, because the ultrasonic's vibration was throwing the camera for a loop. You know, the camera can hear what we can't. That thing's probably just screaming like crazy. Probably the neighbor's dog could hear it. There is not very much coffee left. Anyway, are they still there? Well, I would say they're probably about as clean as they can get. Now, if I can keep from getting grease on my from my fingers on them, I think probably the solder should flow a lot better. Now, I am sure I have said this several times, but when I beat something to death, boy, do I ever beat it to death. And I'm just sort of rinsing them off, getting that Iwata airbrush cleaner solution off, because it is sort of a soap. It's actually, as far as I can tell from the way it feels on my fingers, it feels like a fairly strong soap. So I just want to get the residue of that soap off of there. And okay, I think that's, maybe I could use a just kind of get the, now we'll get the residue of isopropyl off of there. It's probably evaporating. Alright, I think we've beat this to death. Now you may notice, if you're looking out my window at my car, that there's a yellow cord going down the side of it there. Well, I don't have it plugged in because it's cold for the winter. I think I made a statement like this about almost 2 months ago now, and that is, I want to make sure that it is going to start tomorrow. And I don't use my car very often, and I wanted to make sure that the battery was charged up, so I got my little battery maintainer going on it. And the reason being is because I'm going to be going for my second COVID shot. Now, I've been really dragging my feet on this. I think probably more Canadians than not have already had their second shot already. So I'm going for my second tomorrow. That's going to throw a bit of a monkey wrench into the model ship. I imagine we'll do something. I do want to try and do a little bit of soldering tomorrow. I'm going to want to be setting up some kind of a jig that will hold these little parts in place, because we are going to have the problem in that, yes, we'll get one of these on this side, but when we go to solder this side, the heat is going to transfer across. So I got to rig up like a heat sink and so on, and we'll think of something, folks. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Oh, I wasn't going to touch it.